The #1 seed is the Tri-Valley Vikings. They made their Shirk Center debut the other night, and boy, they were impressive in their game against Eureka. Their big kids, Braden Stombaugh had 27 points, big Aiden Jensen, a fast break dunk right here. Tri-Valley winning the game, advancing to the Final Four. They're looking for their first county title in 12 years. This tournament means a lot to the Tri-Valley Vikings.
Dad's played in this tournament. My grandpa's played in this tournament. I unfortunately never got a chance to play in the tournament, but it's a very important, you know, the county's very important for local basketball, and it means a lot to Tri-Valley.
My uncle used to be the coach for Tri-Valley. I used to come to all these games, and it's always meant a lot to me. So to be able to play in it, you know, one final time, I'm really hoping to do something special for Tri-Valley.
Tri-Valley advances to tomorrow's semifinal game where they'll take on Lexington. How good is this tournament? Lexington is state ranked, but they're the 5th seed in this tournament. Yeah, but they were winners over Tremont. They came out shooting the rock. Blaine Friedmansky for 3. Later, Bo Stutzman for 3. They played without one of their top players, Tyler Steffa, who was out with an illness and still won the game. Watch here on the fast break. Micah Kaufman to Blaine Friedmansky. Lexington beats a really good Tremont team, 69-63. They'll get a shot at the top seed tomorrow. The #2 seed, El Paso Gridley, battled DMAC, and they fell behind in this game, but they got a big game from Braden Hayes. Hayes drives and scores here. He had 17 points in the game. And, of course, their senior point guard, Micah Meese, was terrific. Meese, the beautiful dish right here to Ryan Kelsey for the bucket. Then in the second half, Javion Maxon's going to find Hayes down low for the reverse. Hayes had 17, but again, Micah Meese, 24 points, 14 rebounds, 15 out of 15 at the free throw line. El Paso Gridley is into the Final Four. Up next, El Paso Gridley will play their big rival, Fieldcrest. Fieldcrest is the defending HOI tournament champion, and they played great in their win over GCMS. Jordan Hyder here had 24 points, the double pump hoop by Hyder. Then Hyder on the fast break to Isaac Cuppa for 2. Later, Eddie Lorton's going to do his thing. Lorton, the swipe, the steal, the drive, the bucket. Fieldcrest wins at 55-50. Should be a great semifinal night tomorrow night at the Shirk Center. Just like the Chiefs of Kansas City, the DMAC Chiefs are thinking three-peat. The top seed and the defending trophy champs at the HOI tournament are looking for their 3rd straight tournament. Threes were wild the other night. Kinsey Knowles a 3, then Gracie Bontemps a 3 right here. Later, Addison Carruthers a 3 as they won their game against Hayworth. DMAC is state ranked, the defending champion. They are the #1 seed, and they probably have the best player in the tournament in great Dalia De Jesus. They're trying for a tournament three-peat. Up next, DMAC will play a very hot Eureka team. In fact, they're playing that game right now. They just tipped off at the Shirk Center. Maya Edwards and Sophia Musselman. Eureka's playing well. They just beat the #2 seed Tri-Valley in a regular season game. Here they shoot down a really good Tremont team. Skylar Knapp a jumper, then Ivy Edwards a jumper. The other semifinal tonight will feature that #2 seed Tri-Valley. They'll take on GCMS. The Metamora Redbird Round Ball Classic is this week, and boy, it's going to feature some great teams, but the top-ranked team is the home team, the Metamora Redbirds. The Redbirds beat Dunlap last week in a Middle Illini game. Then on Monday, they went down to Springfield and beat Springfield's Sacred Heart Griffin. In that game, Matthew Zobrist had 18 points, scored the 1,000th point of his career. Ashton Greaves hit some threes as well. Jonah Funk had some dunks. Metamora is playing great basketball. They're ranked 3rd in the state. The Redbird Round Ball Classic will also feature Washington, Evanston, Peoria High, Mount Zion. Should be great basketball this weekend in Metamora.
We're starting actually with our conference game against Washington Friday night, so it should be a packed house in here. And then Mount Zion and Normal Community immediately after our game. And in the upstairs gym, it's going to be Dunlap and MacArthur. So pretty good Friday night slate. And then Saturday, we got some teams coming all the way from Chicago. And then Washington and Peoria High are meeting.
Again, they'll be using both gyms. Games tip off at 6 o'clock Friday night at Metamora. Peoria High had an interesting week. They knocked off their big rival, or one of the Peoria rivals, Peoria Richwoods, in this game right here. Spencer Russell hitting a corner 3. Later, LaShawn Stowers playing great. But they lost to a top Wisconsin team, Milwaukee Science, then lost to Hillcrest in an MLK shootout. They've dropped out of the top 10 rankings, but man, they are still really, really good. Peoria High is at the kitchen to take on Peoria Notre Dame tonight. They play Washington Saturday over in Metamora. We head to girls basketball, where the Morton Potters are the top-ranked team in Class 3A. Well, the top-ranked team in the Middle Illini, not the top-ranked team in 3A. Washington is ranked #1 in the state, but Morton is atop Washington in the Middle Illini standings. The Potters ranked 4th in the state, beat Canton the other night with their terrific defense. Julia Laufenberg, a steal here and a bucket. Later inside, Paige Selke, the three-point play. The Potters are playing great. They lost 3 out of 4, but changed things after that.
We changed the starting lineup. We changed kind of how we're doing things against East Peoria. We put up 81 points. We had a ton of deflections, and then we just kind of piggybacked it with some big wins over Dunlap, Washington. I mean, Washington turned it over 20 times. They're the best ball handling passing team in the state, in my opinion, but they weren't comfortable with it the other night.
Morton has a big home game tomorrow when they take on Metamora. Well, speaking of number 1 ranked Washington, they knocked off Metamora on Saturday, then played in the Middle Illini Big 12 shootout, and Washington was a winner over Bloomington. Avery Tibbs hit 3 threes in the first quarter. Later, watch Becca McDougal come up with a steal. She's going to throw it ahead to Tibbs for a layup. Washington cranked up that running game and won the game. This was a fun day of basketball. The Middle Illini won all 6 games against the Big 12. Mazzy O'Brien with the bucket right here as Washington remains the number 1 ranked team in the state. Perhaps the biggest high school basketball story of the week was really not a basketball story. Last Friday night at Dunlap, Penn State football coach James Franklin was at the Dunlap Metamora game. He was watching Dunlap Super Junior Max Sutter, and Mac is terrific on the basketball court. He had 18 points in the game, but of course James Franklin is the football coach at Penn State, a team that played in the Final Four, and he was there to watch Max Sutter because he thinks Max Sutter would be a great tight end for Penn State. Sutter, one of the hottest football recruits in the country, just a junior. So expect more football coaches, even at basketball games, to see Sutter.